What's shaking, BookTube? My name's Cam and I'm here today with a writing tip video. I had a look and I saw how long it's been since my last writing tip video and I was like, holy shit. It's been a while. Today we're going to be talking about different book sizes and different font sizes and which one will be the best for you when you're self-publishing your book. Roll the intro. Alrighty, yes, we are talking about book sizes and font sizes. So, I would have to assume at this point when you're watching the video, or maybe you're just watching this for future knowledge, either way, this is the point when you've finished your book, it's all been edited. Whoa. I never realized how hard that is to say. Edited. What the fuck? Edited. Okay. So this is when your book has been edited, and basically you're at the point where you need to decide on the font and how big the book's going to be, that kind of stuff. First, I'll touch on the font. So we need to get something clear because I've seen a few self-published authors do this, and it needs to stop. Don't be too wacky or outlandish with the font that you choose just for the sake of standing out from the crowd. Here's the thing with choosing a font, and I'm not really talking about font size. I will get to that because that's the point of the video in a moment, but just quickly on the font. Let's say I've seen horror books where they use all this wacky, scary looking writing for the whole book, and that's not okay. First of all, it comes off tacky and really unprofessional, and second of all, it's extremely distracting to the reader. It does distract from the story. How the words are printed does little to complement your story, so there's no point doing that. Again, it just distracts them. And another thing is that if there are people, and there are, with reading handicaps, you're going to exclude them from your reading audience because it's going to be harder for them to read the story. Just avoid that. There are a few different choices you have as to which font you use, but I would definitely go with some of the standards. For example, with my book, I chose Garamond, and for font size, I used 12. That's basically an industry standard that's used across the board for almost every type of book, and I'll always recommend it because that is, again, the standard. Although you can tweak the sizing on that to kind of extend or condense the size of your story. Again, this is going to work in with choosing the book size itself so that you can reach the optimum kind of thickness that you're after. But normally I wouldn't recommend going any lower than 10. That is the point where you need to stop going lower. As for going higher, probably wouldn't go any bigger than 14 unless you were doing a special edition copy for an easy to read for, again, people with those reading handicaps, which is absolutely fine. Usually things like Amazon and CreateSpace, whatever, they'll do that for you if you choose to do that. That's basically font and font size out of the way. So moving on from that, we'll get to the book sizes. You will be told over and over that the best size to choose is 6 inches by 9 inches. I disagree to a certain extent because book sizes will vary on genres. End of the day, this isn't set in stone. You can choose whatever size fits for you, but generally 6 by 9 is pretty chunky to be carrying around, and it's pretty large. The reason people tell you that 6 by 9 is the best size to choose is because that is what the publishers would be leading you to believe, because that is the easiest to distribute and package. It fits neatly and it's easier for them to print through most of their machines. 6 by 9 is easier for the publisher. That's about it. End of the day, let's be honest, everything to do with book sizing is pretty much all about the aesthetic. So it has to be aesthetically pleasing to you, the author. That is the top priority, not how easy it is for the publisher to make. So get that out of your mind. You can choose 6 by 9, of course, if that's what you prefer, but don't do it because the publisher wants you to. So this is a 6 by 9, and you can see it's pretty large. Like, I have pretty big hands, and that is massive. So that's 6 by 9. This is 5.5 inches by 8.5, and that is, again, a tiny bit bigger than what you would see in most fantasy books. Again, it can change up genre to genre, but this is what I went with. In retrospect, I might have actually preferred to go with 5 by 8, but at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. But you can see how drastically smaller that is already just by going down half an inch. Now 5 by 8 is what most fantasy and long books will go for, and that is 5x8 there, Name of the Wind. And that is probably the most comfortable sizing I have for books as far as practicality goes, and aesthetically it's just pleasing. And again, the smaller the book is, assuming you're keeping the same font size, the longer it's going to look. And for fantasy books, that is a really good aesthetic. Again, this video isn't just about fantasy books, this is all stuff you'll have to tweak. I'm just trying to lay you out some examples. And then finally, a book I just got recently. I don't even know what size this is, but it's tiny. I would have to assume it's 4.5 because it looks about half an inch difference there. 4.5 by 7.5, I guess. But you can see how much smaller that is than 6x9. So that's what you're looking at for sizes. You really need to look into this to choose what size is best for you. Again, everyone's going to tell you 6x9, and that's what you're going to see most YA books being printed as. But that's only because most YA publishers find that this is the easiest way to distribute their books. So don't let that be the only reason you choose 6x9. But again, there's nothing wrong with 6x9. It is a nice feel, but it's just not what I would prefer for me. The single best way of finding out what is best for you is to basically just find books in the same genre as what you're writing, see what the standard is for those, and see if that's aesthetically pleasing for you as well. And just play with it a bit. Keep in mind that the bigger it is, the thinner it's going to be, and the smaller it is, the thicker it's going to be. And that goes into a whole different kind of topic about how many words you should be aiming for on your books to achieve a certain thickness. But luckily, I've already done a video on that. That's called How Long Should My Book Be? And you can find that up there. But yeah, that's basically it. For everyone out there who is self-publishing their book, best of luck. I salute you. Let me know in the comments what your preferred size is for books that you pick up. For me, it's probably 5.8. 5x8, I mean. But it differs person to person. All my social media links are below if you haven't already. Check out some of my other videos, and if this was helpful in any way, show me some love. Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, join the Wolfpack and subscribe, and if you are in the Wolfpack, I'll see you in the next video. Catch ya.